Each of our finalists will give their plea about why they played the best game, deserving of the title of last person. And then everyone's going to ask questions, then they're going to give a final plea, then we're going to go vote, then I'm going to do the vote, and then we shimmy the night away. Go to you first.
Okay, I think I'm not just going to try to shoot down Lauren or anything, because she's played a great game, but I think I played equally as good of a game. I think I was able to make friends with all of you along the way, and I know we've all had, did something, especially saving Thomas with the jester, that are questionable, and I understand that. And so if there are some unexpected votes, that's understood. But I do think I played a very strong game. I laid off challenges when I needed to lay off of them. I tried really hard and won whenever I needed to win. And until last round, I wasn't even on. I never was available to be voted on. And so, like I said before, that doesn't mean anything though. It's just a fun fact. But I think I've been able to help you all at least some point in this game. And if not, I'm sorry about that. But I think I've played well and I've put a lot of effort into it. So it's up to y'all. No hard feelings.
Okay, and Lauren.
Like Brady said, no hard feelings, and I'm not going to shoot him down, but I do believe that my game was good because I was the word would probably be sneaky. I don't know. Like, I always knew what was going on at all times because I made friends with until like the whole, I don't know, but I knew what everyone was doing pretty much at all times. I never put a target on my back. That was one thing I avoided while making sure I was on top of everything. I never put a target on my back. The times I was on the block, I'm pretty sure they were both unanimously against me one time I got myself off. I just think that a good Big Brother player is able to know what's going on at all times, knows how to talk to the right people and win. And I think that's exactly what I did. And I was very smart about the game. So if you want, again, no hard feelings, but think about that when you make your vote.
Okay, it's time for jury questioning. Maggie, then who was after Maggie? Joey? No. Seth.
Maggie and Seth.
I don't really have a question.
You don't have a question?
Save
Okay,
He knows what he's voting.
okay, who was after Seth? Jillian? No, it was Matthew.
Okay, I'll start off with something basic. First, what do you think is your biggest move each?
I'll go first. Sorry. I think my biggest move was definitely a questionable one with getting Thomas in with the jester, being I was one of the two people who was positive that Thomas was the jester at that point. And so it wasn't against anyone. I wasn't trying to shoot for anyone at that point. I just didn't want to see Thomas in the bottom and up for eviction 2 times in a row. And so I did what I felt necessary at that time. And so I think that was my biggest move though, because besides that, I've played strong and I've gotten the vetoes when I need them, but there's no like major move.
Lauren.
All right, mine was kind of a gradual one, but hear me out. Okay, so when I didn't know, I knew where I was on one side of the house, but I felt like when it came down to it, I wouldn't be in like the top. That's just how I felt. So I found a new final 3, and that's what kept me strong. And it hurt so bad to leave people that I had been working with, and like that's not who, like y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know like I really hate hurting people. But I knew I had to switch over, which is hard to do while also maintaining no target on your back, over to Brody and Thomas, and I believe that's why I'm sitting in the spot I am right now.
So, you think they brought you there?
I think it was a smart, big move to move to them. That's
So
what,
they can cushion the blow from everybody else, and they can take all the hits.
okay, you're being kind of abrasive, so I'm just going to not answer that question.
Okay, who was after Matthew? Jillian.
Other than Thomas, because he was in your final 3, whose gameplay did you respect the most, or did you think that was like the most like functioning? I guess I don't know. how to say it.
I don't think there was like one person. I think there's really, I can respect everyone's game, and like I'll point out stuff like your game. You were probably one of the more loyal, most loyal of all the people, just because even after you got voted out, you weren't gunning for anyone that came, because we all voted for you. Seth, he did nothing wrong. I feel bad for Seth because he just got, he always gets chopped down like this. And so Seth really didn't do anything wrong. He was playing it smart and keeping in the background for the most part, and then you got shot down. Remel, you fought hard and you got all the way to the Final Four with us. And honestly, there was some points where I don't know if you were technically in our Final Four, and you forged your way into it with your trustworthiness, and so I think that was big. Thomas, obviously we understand how you affected the game and your assets. I think there's a reason we got Matthew out so early, and I mean it wasn't like early, but he's probably one of the smartest players here. He knows how to play the game just as well as anyone else, and because he knows the tactics that go with it, and he knows how to play people. He not like that sounds really terrible, but I mean, like you know how to use people how you need them and to make them trust you, which is very, very difficult in this game. Holly, we had an alliance that lasted longer than I think I expected. I don't know how long you expected to last, but I didn't know how long it was going to last because I thought that whole part was going to just crumble apart and I was going to have to ditch it. But I was able to stick with you for a very long time, and it wasn't until I got to a point where I no longer felt comfortable with the numbers that I had to leave that. And so that was unbelievable. And then, of course, Drake comes in. I don't think anyone really expected you to do what you did, and then you came in and probably caused the most havoc of any player. You and Holly teamed up and used that to essentially do a good job of breaking down the other major alliance. You took out 3 or 4 great players, and if Jillian hadn't come back from that challenge, I think this game would have been very different due to that. So I think everyone's played a really strong game and had their own greatnesses.
Alright, I could sit here and affirm all of you like you just did, be a bit repetitive because I agree with everything you said. I can't pick one. I appreciate Jillian's loyalty, and you did some risky things, and I appreciate your bravery. Seth, I appreciate the fact that you never do anything wrong. You just, Seth is never an evil person, so I appreciate that. Jacob, oh man, when you gave me the chips, I wanted to just hug you and love you forever, and like you just.
And you did.
I really don't think you really. I mean, unless like there's.
You're really tired.
I am.
Yeah, and okay, that too. The fact that I don't know how many hours you said, but
3.
there you go. You have a determination because honestly, like. There are more people here that knew each other better than they knew you or that you knew them, and the fact that you made it to Final Four by getting with the people that were smart to get with, you're very smart about the game. From what I know, you played a relatively clean game, and I don't think you really backstabbed anyone that I know of. So I respect that. Thomas, you always play a great game. You're smart. You were Jester and stayed in, which I would have gotten out early if I was Jester. You know how to talk to people. I respect your just your eloquence and how you speak to people. Matthew, the only reason like first you got early is because you are a very smart player, and I do respect the fact that you changed who you are as a player. I know that from past experiences. I respect that. You are a very good player. You're very smart. You know how to manipulate. Sounds like a negative connotation, but in a smart way. Holly, I hated that I had to go against you. It was honestly just like because of what was happening. I respect that you're always a very kind player. You're never like cutthroat. I'm gonna get you out. Like you're just a very kind. You're obviously very loyal to who you stand with, and you've been great too. And then Drake, I respect the fact that I didn't think you would make it that far. I mean, like I'm proud of you, is what I'm saying. You did great for someone who's never played before. So I respect that you learned the game very quick. You learned how to be smart in the game, and that you just did very well. I think you got like 7th or 6th. That's very good for someone who's never played any game, so I respect that. Y'all are all great players, and there's something great about all of you.
What do you think was your worst move, and how did you recover from it?
I think my worst move was also my best move in keeping Thomas in the game. I had the opportunity as HOH that week to nominate who I wanted. And I also won veto, so I was able to use that whole week basically to my advantage. And I think the reason it's bad is because obviously I lost to y'all's alliance in the process, as well as making interviews with like Cecile. But I think at the same time, part of the reason I'm here is because of the pact us three made. And so I think without that I wouldn't be here.
My worst move was also my best move that makes any sense, because by moving from one side to the other where I am now, I'm pretty sure it made me have to vote out people that would have been loyal to me, and I feel like it raised a few animosities between me and a couple people. So that's not the good part of it, but I think it's just about doing what you can do and facing the consequences.
Okay, who was after Drake? Holly?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
Thank you, Holly.
Okay, Jacob, do you have a question?
Yeah, one. Who respects the shroud more?
I don't know.
Can it be equal? We like each respect the shroud
Okay,
to
next
maximum
question.
capacity.
I just have to make the comment that while yes, you convinced a lot of people that I wasn't Jester, it was solely like my ability to, I guess, convince people that I wasn't also by acting and performing that. And also, you were not the person that put me up that round. It was Jacob because of his special power. And so I just gotta give that out. And well, you did make huge moves. And yes, you chose like the great people to bring along. But I just gotta respect Lauren, who did not float and jump to a group that she could float with, but she jumped to a group that she knows that she could get farther, and yet still she can convince people to bring her farther. Which that's not floating whatsoever. That's making sure that she's safe. And a floater is more of a person that actually has no alliances. So that's just my opinion. But also, that's about it. I don't really have any questions. I just wanted to clear.
Alright, I just want to make a very quick affirmation. But with the whole Jacob nominating Thomas, me and him had discussed that prior to that vote. I understood that. That was for me to not backstab any one of my contenders as well. And so I was just trying to keep it fair. I mean, I understand it was even essentially Jacob who put you up. So, but it was planned.
Okay.
I think I've played a fair game. I don't think I've lied to too many of you. I've tried to be as honest as I could. And even when I wasn't completely honest, I tried to hurt as few people as I could. And I think Lauren's done the same, so it's nothing against her. But I feel like as a competitor through this whole game, I just was able to accomplish a little bit more in the way of challenges. And so that is my final plea.
And Lauren.
What I lacked in challenges, I made it for in brains. I knew exactly what was going on at all times. I never didn't know who exactly was going out, who was voting who out. I think, like I said before, I think a good Big Brother player, and not that he wasn't, I'm saying it just for my personal game, the reason I was a good Big Brother player is because of that. I knew exactly what was going on. I stayed on top of things. I knew where I needed to be in order to get farther. I just knew it was best for me, and I did what that was, and I just always was on top of my own game. I knew exactly what I was.